guys, I might be older than your parents or maybe taught your parents, okay? But I've been at Grand Island Senior High 36 years. Graduated from college in 1981, then got hired. I coached the volleyball team for many, many years and taught special education. I was a co-teacher in English and government. And then in 2000, I became the first female assistant principal at Grand Island Senior High School because they had never had a female administrator. So when Dr. Joel was the superintendent, he told Dr. Mann, you gotta find somebody that's a female because of the female girls and female teachers. It's important to have male and females on staff. And then just this week, I was hired as the new activities director. Mr. Cutlass is going to retire, and my heart has always been, I love administration, but I think I'm ready to work with coaches and athletes and trying to get more kids involved in activities, get more kids to come to the games. I know our soccer team is going to state next Wednesday. We already have a spirit bus ready to go, so sign up and get on the spirit bus for next Wednesday. So anyway, so that's my career. Teacher and administration have been my career choices. What's the most rewarding about my job? I think the most rewarding is what will happen on Mother's Day at the Heartland Event Center. Do you guys know what that is? What happens on Mother's Day at the Heartland Event Center?
Graduation.
Graduation. That's exactly right. To see when you guys are freshmen, you come in, and in 4 years, and it will go fast, you'll be walking across the stage for your high school diploma. We just met this morning on the list of all the kids, the seniors, who's going to walk and who has a little bit more work to do before they get to walk. So hopefully the seniors that are not completely done with their assignments will be able to get it all done and be able to come to practice next Friday to walk across the stage. That day is about you because you've earned it, but I tell you, it's also for your parents and grandparents, your siblings, because they're very, very proud of you, just like we are. Some things that I think that are sad about administration is when my first day on the job, I had to make a home visit because the night before one of my students was killed in a car wreck. I had never experienced going to a home where there had been a death of a child, of their child. And so that was really hard. That was a hard day for me, going and talking to the parents, because that was the first day on my job. And then we come back to school, and then you have all the kids that are upset. You have to work through all of that. So those are the things about my job that are kind of sad. But they're also things that go with everyday life. And we are here to help kids and help families. Why did I choose education? My grandmother was a teacher. And so when I was a little girl, I always wanted to play teacher. And she taught in the farm school. And so I would always help her check her papers and do things like that. How does your career affect the world? Will there be positions in 5, 10, or 15 years? There's always going to be education. But with that, like we've already talked about, but the education for you guys when you're juniors is going to look a lot different. And I know you've gone over this, and you guys are going to have some great opportunities. We will not be the traditional 50-minute classroom. We're going to a block schedule, and we don't know what the block will look like, but they will be 90-minute classes. And in those class periods, the freshmen coming in, they'll have a freshman academy where they're going to get exposed to exactly what your teachers are having you do right now. We're exposing you to all kinds of different careers. And then at the end of your freshman year, you will pick what career pathway you want to take. And so I would have been in the education pathway. And so I would follow the education, all the classes I will need to take. You'll be fortunate because you guys can take dual credit classes, AP classes, go out and do practicum work in our community. I went to Vegas at Christmas time to visit a school there to see what their career preparatory academy looked like. I was so excited because they have chefs that come into their schools, their EMTs, firefighters, come in and help the kids explore different careers. And you will also, like I said, dual credit classes. Our teachers have their master's degrees and they can teach college classes, and you kids never have to leave campus. The other schools in Grand Island, their kids can take dual credit classes, but they have to go out to the college and take a night class. Guess who's teaching those kids at the night class? You. Not me, but our senior high teachers. Yep. They get hired to go out there and teach, and yet our kids get to have our teachers who teach those classes here every day. So that's exciting. So try to get as many college career classes as you can. Describe a typical day. Okay, well, some of my responsibilities, I'm in charge of substitute teachers. So when a teacher gets on SmartFind and puts in that they're ill or they're gonna be gone, my job is to make sure there's a substitute teacher available to be in these classes. So my day starts at 5 to 5:15 in the morning. My phone starts beeping, okay? Then you go through the day, you don't get lunch breaks. I don't have a 50-minute lunch or a 30-minute lunch because there's always something going on. So you just eat and run. Surprised we haven't had heart attacks yet, but we're good. And then I attend activities after school. So some days my jobs are 15 and 16-hour days. I go from 5:15 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And a lot of times that could be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and not Wednesday so much because of church night. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like this Saturday, our baseball team plays in Omaha, so I'm driving to Omaha. And the next Wednesday, our soccer team goes back to Omaha. We're going back to Omaha then, so you're always doing something. Let's see, does your job mainly, is it physical strain or mental? Probably the mental piece of it. But I love coming every day. I don't have to go to work. I get to come to work and work with kids and teachers. Can you live and work anywhere in the United States? Yeah, I could. But I would just have to take their state test to become a teacher or an administrator in their state. What job would I have chosen if I didn't do what I was doing now? Probably nursing. I always thought about education or nursing, and I picked education and I love it. But if I would have had that opportunity in high school, I could have looked at the education career and the nursing career and made my decision before I even went to college. That's the opportunity that you kids are going to have. Because we need kids ready for careers. We need kids to go to college. And I will tell you, don't ever think that you can't go to college because of what it costs. Every student can go to college. There's loans, there's grants, parents can get loans, but it is important that you really try to go to college. So don't let anybody say, well, that really costs so much. How are you going to pay for that? Start working and put that money away. And there's a ton of scholarships in the Grand Island Public Schools to help kids will tell you, to get those scholarships, you have to make good choices in high school. When we go through the scholarship committee, I'm part of that. You kids will get on, you'll do an application. It just gives you a number. It doesn't even put your name up there for us to see until we're ready to pick that $20,000 scholarship. And they'll click on your name, it'll be there. And us administrators, we look on Infinite Campus. The first tab we go into, what do you think is the first tab we look at?
Grades.
Nope. Nope.
Attendant.
GPA?
We look, I know, what do we look at? We look in behavior tabs. Every administrator and counselor, there's a tab that if you get called to the office because you've been kicked out of a class, we have to document everything. And we open that tab and most of the time it has absolutely no referrals to the office. It has nothing in the contact log except, hey, I contacted her about her scholarship. But grades are important, but they're not the main thing why you get scholarships. The ACT test, you want to take that very seriously your junior year. Because a lot of places require a certain score on the ACT. But it can be a score of 18 all the way to a perfect score of 36. So when you take that ACT your junior year, you want to take it seriously. And we had 100% of the juniors take the ACT on April 19th. We were the only high school in the state of Nebraska with 100%. And not one junior brought their cell phone into the testing arena. Not a one. So you really don't need those cell phones every minute, every day, right? But I am telling you, we do look, and it's all about, so sometimes, somebody said to me, what do you spend the majority of your day on? Well, what I want to spend my day on is coming into classrooms. But lately, it's all about the drama of social media and Facebook drama between kids. And I get tired of it. Because I feel bad that kids talk to each other the way they do, that kids get involved in other people's problems when you shouldn't even be involved with them. And then the language is horrible what we read. And when kids are struggling, they can bring it in. And then we just take snapshots of everything. And we plug it right into your behavior tab. So when you're a senior, you're up for that $20,000 scholarship, click it on, and it's, hey, you did it, why don't you did it? You just cost yourself $20,000 by doing something stupid when you were a 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grader with social media. So my best advice, if you can't say something nice and it doesn't pertain to you, stay off of it, don't interact with it. But 2 mornings in a row, my job, I get here at 7 o'clock. By 7:30, kids are in my office. This is what happened, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? I don't think cell phones need to be in the school, because we all have phones in every classroom and every office. Now, do I think kids need Chromebooks and technology? Absolutely, because that's your world, that we have to teach you how to use it right. But kids, I'm telling you, it will cost you getting into a college, it will cost you getting a job someday. We interviewed 3 art teachers yesterday. First thing I did was get on their Facebook page the night before and went through everything. And if there would have been one thing on there about bullying or any of that, we would have dropped their application. And we can see that stuff. As administrators, we can get into everybody's Facebook page and social media. colleges can get into your stuff once you've applied and been accepted. So just be careful, okay? And a lot of times people think, oh, that doesn't happen. I'm telling you it happens, okay? Let's see, what's the most satisfying about the job? The money, vacation, coworkers, or retirement? Well, money isn't in education. You're not gonna get to be a millionaire. But you know what? We don't put a price tag on it because we want to be teachers for a reason, because we like kids. And we want to make a difference in every child's life. Vacations, I'm on a 260-day contract. So I get about 15 days off in the summer. But my responsibility is I build the master schedule. So I have to do that in the summertime when it's quiet and I don't have interruptions. So when you come back to school and you have your schedule, that's what I've done all summer long. And Miss Milton knows what class she's going to teach. I've set that up too. Okay. Retirement, the retirement in the state of Nebraska for teachers is wonderful. Because each month they take money out of our check and they kind of put it in a big savings account. And then our district matches us 100%. So when I'm 65 years old, that's probably when I will retire because I will come to work for free. But if I still love what I'm doing, I might go till I'm 70. I don't know. But at 65, you can retire and get 100% of your salary. So that's a pretty good deal.
Wait, what do you mean, like 100%?
That, like I said, they'll match what I get every month in a paycheck. I will get that paycheck. The same amount without even coming to work. But all these years, I put money into that. They take a ton of money out of our checks, don't they?
Yep.
And it's hard. You know, and that's why a lot of times, I mean, Mr. Wells and I, we live paycheck to paycheck. You know, we do. But yet, because they take a lot of money out for our retirement. But someday, hopefully, when we retire, we can go do things. I'm sure we'll set up a lot of ballparks. Okay. But it is a good package. And we don't teach for the money. Nobody in the United States teach because we're going to get rich. But the richness is with you kids every day, I will tell you that. And parents, they send their best kids to us every day. They don't keep the good ones at home, they send the naughty ones. Your parents have done very well with you, and they send you to a public high school to get the best education that you can get. So, ask me questions. What do you want to know?
What kind of education do you need this for an assistant teacher?
I had to get my master's in administration. So I took a lot of school law, finances, how to evaluate teachers, how to write suspension letters. Because when you have to know the law, the school law behind every suspension. When the kids get in trouble, you can suspend 5 days. Then you can suspend 10 days, up to 19 days to an expulsion. The student brings a weapon to school, they're gonna get an expulsion. An expulsion means you can't go to any school in Grand Island if you've been expelled from one of the high schools here in our community. You can't attend the school in the same community. So if you, and this was really sad when it happened, that a boy had gone hunting, because they went out, a bunch of friends, and they went hunting one morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, he left his gun in the back seat of his car. Just left it laying there. So what happened that day? We had the drug dogs come. Because we trained the drug dogs. Have you guys ever seen the dogs outside? Okay. Well, the state patrol, they have to train the drug dogs how to sniff out drugs. Well, we're the only school, and I think Central Catholic let them do it this year, but because we can keep our people inside, And then they can sniff all the cars, because you can't take them to the mall, because people are going in and out of the driveway, and our kids have to stay in the building while the drug dogs are doing this. Well, we were walking around, all of a sudden we see this shotgun in the back of the car, and we're like, so we call, get the license plate, who does it belong to? And our kids are great. And we were like, oh my gosh, these parents are gonna be devastated, the kid's gonna be devastated. But we had to expel him his junior year. But we helped him get into school at Aurora. And we called and said, he's a great kid, just did something stupid and brought a gun and left it in the back of the car. The boys out at Northwest, they used to go hunting all the time. They would leave their guns in the back of their windows, and you never thought anything about it. But with all the changes in education and the laws and all the shootings that have gone on, you just can't do that anymore. So we have classes like that. So when we do suspend and expel, we have to make sure all of our ducks are in a row when that happens. And then you just take all kinds of classes. What else? So I never quit going to school. Ever. Yes.
How much has teaching changed from when you first started?
It's really changed because we offer so much more. When I first started, we had maybe some honors classes, but we did not offer dual credit courses. We didn't offer AP. We couldn't go be a teacher aide. And we didn't have early release. And no open campus for juniors and seniors at lunch. We just stayed here. And so that's really changed now. And our size, we're so much more, we're bigger. We will have over 2,500 kids here next year, which I think is awesome. But are we running out of room? Yeah. And so that's why we're thinking of doing some things differently. And I think that's what's exciting. But it's just, we offer more, but we have to. Because you kids, to me, you come in wanting so much more than what we wanted 36 years ago. And we have to get you ready for our world today. And it is full of technology and medicine and all kinds of opportunities for you kids. I think when I went to college, the teaching career was probably the highest thing that everybody went into. There were teachers in every campus wanting to be a teacher. And now, not very many want to go into teaching. What do you think people are picking as careers now?
Automotives and construction.
Automotives and construction, because they can get a certificate right out of high school and go to work.
CNA.
Nursing, huge. Medicine, huge. Dentistry. The biggest thing this year when our seniors had honors night, they have to get up and they have to read where they're going to go to college and their careers. I've never heard so many medical students, dentistry, anything with software and technology, and engineers. Wow. And a couple of them, I was like, I don't even know what that means, what they were going to major in. Biochemo, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God. It's amazing what our kids are doing today. And you kids can do that too. Okay, what other questions?
Caleb?
Checking out?
Yeah.
Is it track meet?
No.
No, not today. Tomorrow. All kinds of things.
Joanna, you had a question. Did you get yours answered?
Yeah.
Well, we were kind of trying to brainstorm before you came in some questions. And one of the questions the kid had was, is it hard? Is being an assistant principal hard?
Yeah, it can be hard, because you have to make decisions right on the spot sometimes. And those decisions can really affect the child's life. And, you know, and you guys know we have a wellness center for mental health counseling, drug counseling, alcohol counseling, and sometimes there are things that go on outside of school that really affect our kids' lives. But they trust us, they come every day so that we can help them. And sometimes those quick decisions that you have to make can really impact a child's life. And I hold kids accountable. And you guys have probably heard, you know, God, Mrs. Wells is so mean. I'm not mean, but I hold you accountable. And I think that's what I was held accountable. You're always gonna be held accountable. And like I said, the social media, I'll sit down and fix it once, but when I have to continue to fix the same behavior over and over and over, I lose my patience. Because you don't need to treat each other this way. You don't need, if somebody takes a picture of somebody, make a comment and call them dirty names. I mean, those things just bother me. Because I can't imagine that our kids today treat each other the way they do sometimes. Because I had 2 boys, and that would have never happened at my house. If I would have gotten called to school one time because of a bad social media page, I guarantee you my kid would have never had technology again. And my boys, I did not let them have cell phones till after they graduated from high school. My kids went through high school, some of the only without a cell phone. He didn't need one. We only lived 3 blocks away.
And you're here.
And I was here, and my dad was here. And when they went to their friend's house, their parents had landlines yet. And if you say you're gonna go to Johnny's house, by God, you better be at Johnny's house, you know? So my kids were like, I'm like the only ones who don't have it. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. But to this day, they'll say they were really glad they didn't have it. Because a lot of their friends were in drama all the time. Yeah. And they really didn't have girlfriends because the girls were afraid to come to my house. Because so they, no, not really. Okay. So I think that's probably the hardest thing, is we have to make instant decisions right away. You pick up the phone and say, hello, this is Mrs. Wells, and it could be a parent that just lays into me. And I can't make it personal, you know, not at all. And I just have to listen and say, you know, I think it'd be best if you just come in and sit and talk to me. You don't need to throw out all these things at me. Don't make it personal. And I can't take it personal, else I could never do this job.
I guess if any other questions? All right, let's do 3 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please go be teachers and administrators, okay? All
Especially
right.
boys.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, kids.
Yeah, thanks, Mrs. Wells.
You bet.